Hello, everybody. My name is Bill Perdue, as she just said, and my company is Your Ride Home. We're a transportation company that actually saves people's lives, which is kind of rare, I think. So, you know, you've all heard of Uber and Lyft, and these are all huge companies that have basically the product of driving people around as a taxi. We do things a little bit different. But first, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Springfield, Ohio. Lived in Ohio my entire life. Right out of high school, I got married, started making children, had 4 awesome kids. Ended up raising them myself. Going to college, I went to Clark State and then Ohio State. I was in engineering, so it makes sense that I'm doing this now. Really using my degree there. But anyways, so let me explain how this works. First, I'm going to need a couple of volunteers. So who likes to drink? Anybody? No? All right, we got a couple of volunteers. Well, you know, my business revolves around helping drunk drivers. So I was in a bar talking to a bartender friend of mine, Amanda, and she's a bartender at the local Eagles in Springfield. And she was telling me that, you know, the biggest problem people have with catching an Uber or something from the bar is they don't want to leave their car there. Because then the next morning they got to figure out how they're going to get to their car and then get to work, they're going to be late and whatever. You know, so it's just a huge hassle, right? So that kind of sparked an idea in my head. And I want to explain to you how I'm going to do it by bringing my volunteers up, please. What's your name? Kiki and Rachel. Okay, Rachel, you're going to be my bar customer. Kiki, you're going to be my driver, okay? All right, sweet. So, I'm standing in the way. There are some serious consequences to drunk driving. I mean, I'm sure you guys all know this. A lot of people die, like 29 people a day or something. Like 1 million people a year get OVI charges. They lose their license. They lose their livelihoods. What Jamie Simpson just lost his job for getting an OVI. You know, it happens. And what I want to do is solve that. You know, so imagine you're in a bar, and you've had a few drinks, and you drove there, and you don't want to leave your car. So you're considering, what are your options, right? You can Uber and leave your car there, or you can chance it and drive home, which a lot of people do, right? That's really it. Those are your only 2 options. So now there's a third choice. We're on Facebook, Your Ride Home. I want to build an app, so that's where we're at with that. But we have a phone number that you can call. So there's actually a live dispatcher when you call, which is completely different than the competition, you know what I mean? And so I want you to imagine that you're at the bar, and you know, you're going to make a phone call. You're going to call Your Ride Home, okay? And I'm going to need you to come up and be my other driver, if you don't mind. Sorry. All right, so you're going to be here, and I'm going to sit here, and you're going to call Your Ride Home, and our dispatcher is going to answer and say, "Thanks for calling Your Ride Home. This is so-and-so. What can I do for you?" And you're, with your drunk voice, going to say, "I need to get home." Because trust me, that's what we hear. So then she's going to get your information and then dispatch the call. We're drivers. We want to make some money, so we're ready to go. You're driving your car, and I'm the co-driver. Okay, so let's seat belts because we want to be safe, you know. So we drive to the location where she's at, and I'm going to get out. I go into the bar, and hi, I'm Bill from Your Ride Home. I'm here to take you home in your own car.
Rachel.
Nice to meet you, Rachel. If you'll follow me. So I bring Rachel around. I put her in the passenger seat, opening the door the wrong way. I go ahead and get in the driver's seat. I guess we probably should have done this the other way. But so now, seatbelt, because we want to be safe. Right. So now I'm going to drive her car while she's with me, and we're going to go to your house, and Kiki's going to follow us in the car that she drove. So we get to your house. All right. That was a quick ride. She lives very close to the bar. Okay, so we're here. Thanks for using Your Ride Home. How would you like to pay? We offer cash, card, Venmo, Facebook Pay, Cash App. Matter of fact, if you want to give me money, I want to help. So, you know, what can I do for you? All right, cool. So then we'll take your credit card information. We run all of our credit cards through the Square app, so everything's secure. The drivers have card readers, or we can take a card over the phone, however you like. Great. Thank you for your participation. Now, when we're done, I'm going to pay Kiki using another electronic service. She paid with a card. And Kiki's going to get her money and go on about her day waiting for the next call. Right? Thank you for your help. Appreciate it. Maybe not the best presentation, but I'm working on it here. So I was supposed to switch that. So how are we different than your Uber or Lyft or whatever? Well, first off, we have about 1,200 followers on Facebook right now. And we get a lot of feedback from those people. And they tell us things like, we really love that there's someone we can call. There's live dispatchers. We really love that you will accept cash because nobody else will. And these are the main reasons that people tell us they would use us over Uber or Lyft. Not to mention, we offer a signature service where we're going to drive your car home for you. Nobody else does that, We also offer a program that we're helping workers. It's called Your Ride to Work. Where we offer a discount for people that schedule rides to go to and from work because we've realized that a huge barrier to getting out of poverty is being able to find reliable transportation to get to and from work. So we're working with Job and Family Services and the employment agencies in Springfield to help their workers get back and forth to work. We started that this month and we've already got 9 people signed up for that program. So it's really taken off and people really appreciate it. What kind of market are we working in? Well, you guys, I don't have to explain to you how big the Uber and Lyft and ride-sharing market is. I mean, everybody knows. It's a multi-billion-dollar market. But the thing is, they're not making money at it. They're not very profitable. And so I tried to look into why. What's the problem? What's the reason? And the number one reason that people say is that there's not many drivers. They can't seem to have enough drivers to cover the areas. So in Springfield, there's almost no coverage. So we're getting hundreds of calls a month because people tell us there's a couple of drivers, but they're not available. They're only available sometimes, So I had to solve that problem, and the way I do that is I pay a little differently. So Uber and Lyft, they pay just like a minimum of like $4 or something to their drivers, and nobody's going to get out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning to go drive somebody around for $4. It's just not going to happen. So what I do is I offer a minimum of 10 miles. So if you need to get your car home, like the service that we just did, it's only $20 plus tax to go up to 10 miles. Anything over 10 miles costs extra, and extra stops and things cost extra. But the point is I'm keeping it as inexpensive as possible and offering the drivers as much money as possible. And we've got now 14 drivers in Springfield that's driving for us. I've had 3 people apply today that want to drive for us. So I think I've solved the problem that Uber's having about having enough drivers. I'm just paying them better and charging a little more. And the customers seem to recognize that. They do know that Uber beats us on price for really short rides, like 2 miles or something. But then anything over about 5 or 6 miles, we end up being a little cheaper. So we just pick up. So what kind of market share could we possibly get beating Uber in prices, offering services that they don't offer? I don't know. I'm trying to be modest and say we can get 10% of that. But 10% of 74 million rideshare users and $56 million in annual revenue is plenty for me. I mean, I'm not that greedy. I just want to help people, So this is what our sales look like. I just got my LLC in September. So it started back in, you can't see the labels at the bottom, but we started back in June, really keeping track. I kicked this thing off in September of 18, but it was just really slow getting started. It was a little difficult to get drivers interested and bring the customer base up so that drivers would stay interested, But as you can see, we've been climbing, and Christmas kind of slowed us down right here at the top. But now this month with our new Your Ride to Work program, I believe we're actually going to blow that number out of the water. I didn't adjust it for that yet. So, this is our monthly revenue. This is what the business makes after we pay everything out. And you can see it's only up to around $1,000 a month. But my input for that $1,000 a month is next to nothing. I've got drivers that are getting dispatched online and dispatchers who are answering the calls, and I just have to make sure that nobody does anything stupid, so far. So what I'm looking for, I need to scale this thing, right? Because Springfield is only about 100,000 people in that market, and I'm getting about 300 calls a month, from Springfield. So if I could take that number and just, get that kind of coverage nationwide, it's something like 33,000 calls a day. And these little numbers here get a bunch of zeros after them, and it looks much nicer, I think. So who all's on my team? It's just myself and my daughter. And my beautiful daughter there is the dispatcher and manager of everything, and she is just wonderful. She's just given me another grandbaby, so she's got a 3-month-old and a 2-year-old, and this allows her to make money from home. And so that's another thing too. You know, we're going to be hiring a lot of dispatchers as we expand, and this is going to give people opportunities to make money at home. You know, when they don't have a lot of other opportunities, single parents and things like that. You know, my drivers tell me too, they love the opportunity to make that extra money. And you know, it's just so much. We had a driver last night, got a $70 tip. I mean, how do you get a $70 tip for driving somebody home? That's just crazy, right? I don't get $70 tips for anything. You know, I mean, seriously. Right? So what I'm asking for today is I need help growing. I need to expand my business. Springfield's great. I'm slowly expanding into Dayton and Fairborn and things like that and hiring drivers. But I want to up the pace, you know. So I need somebody who's going to help me build and market an app. This is the first business I've ever started and ran. I'm not really experienced. So I need somebody who's going to be able to tell me the things that I don't know, you know, because there's a lot of things that I don't know. So I need an experienced partner. And, you know, I've been poor my whole life. You know, I've put this thing together on a shoestring budget, and it takes all my time, so, you know, I'm barely surviving, you know, making this thing happen. I could really use some financial investment to be able to build the app and market the app. And I feel like if I can get to that step, that build and market the app, then the growth is just going to, you know, explode. I mean, we saw earlier my growth chart from when people started to find out about us, you know, till I've kind of saturated the Springfield market, you know, it just went straight up. And I feel like I can do that for every city in the United States. And what's the side effect going to be? If I'm successful in this, the side effect is going to be I'm going to save a bunch of lives. These drivers are going to be out making the roads safer for everybody. We're going to save a bunch of property damage and a bunch of people from losing their license and you know, their livelihoods to OVI charges. You know, and that's the thing. If I could just get this thing done, we can save lives. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to do, because it's just so much positive feedback from the community. You know, we get nothing but love. We've got dozens of testimonials, people that say that we're the best business in Springfield, that we're saving lives, that, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And you know, I want to bring this to everybody. So that's what I need. I need help from you guys. I need to, if you know somebody that you know, is an app developer and, you know, is willing to work for, you know, maybe a back end cut or something because I don't have a lot of money up front, or if you want to throw some money towards making an app, you know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. An app's not a cheap ask. You know, I've looked around, and depending on who you want to have build it, I can get it built from anywhere for $15,000 in India to $150,000 in Columbus. You know, so you know, I'm not asking for small change, and I realize that. You know, so I'm willing to work with somebody who thinks that this is a good idea and wants to get behind it, and I'm you know, interested in any questions you guys might have. So please feel free if you want to ask questions.